Why seniors are losing billions to scams after 60, and the brain science behind why it's not your fault. Becoming more susceptible to scams after 60 is not a sign of stupidity or carelessness. Research has confirmed that it may be one of the earliest warning signs of Alzheimer's disease, appearing years before any memory problems become obvious. Stay with me for the next 15 minutes, because this video is about protecting two things simultaneously: your money and your brain. Welcome to Thrive After 60, where we are committed to bringing you science-backed strategies for living stronger, sharper, and healthier in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Please subscribe if you have not already. And before we begin, this video is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for personalized medical or financial advice. Always speak with a professional about your individual situation. In a landmark study published in the Annals of Internal Medicine, one of America's most prestigious medical journals, researchers at Rush University Medical Center followed older adults over an average of 6 years. They measured each participant's susceptibility to scams at the beginning of the study, their ability to detect deception, evaluate suspicious offers, and resist high-pressure manipulation. The findings were extraordinary. Older adults who scored highest on scam susceptibility at the start of the study, meaning they were the most vulnerable to exploitation, were approximately twice as likely to develop mild cognitive impairment or Alzheimer's disease over the following 6 years compared to those with low scores. And here is what makes this finding genuinely alarming. For participants who died over the course of the study, autopsy data showed that those with high scam susceptibility scores also had significantly more of the brain changes physically associated with Alzheimer's disease. The lead researcher stated that changes in scam susceptibility or aspects of social judgment may be among the very earliest signs that Alzheimer's disease is beginning, and may be present even well before we can see overt cognitive signs. This is not a minor finding. This is one of the most significant connections between financial vulnerability and brain health ever published. And it reframes everything about how we should think about seniors and scams, because falling for a scam is not a character flaw. It may be a symptom. Before we talk about what the brain science tells us, let us understand the scale of the problem. Seniors in America lost $584 million to romance and confidence fraud in 2025, according to the FBI. And that figure almost certainly understates the true total. An AARP survey found that only 14% of fraud victims reported the crime to the FBI or FTC, with shame and self-blame among the leading reasons victims stayed silent. Medicare fraud costs the United States an estimated $60 billion annually, according to the Senior Medicare Patrol. $60 billion drained from a program that millions of older Americans depend on for their survival every year. And in 2026, the tools available to scammers have become dramatically more sophisticated. AI voice cloning technology now allows scammers to replicate the voice of a grandchild, a child, or a spouse, using as little as 3 seconds of audio taken from social media, and use that cloned voice to make a phone call that the victim genuinely cannot distinguish from the real person. Grandparent scams using AI cloned voices are now among the fastest growing fraud categories targeting older Americans. The FTC and financial industry identify 5 categories of scam that are causing the largest losses to seniors in America in 2026. Category 1. Government impersonation scams. Fraudsters pose as IRS agents, Social Security Administration officials, Medicare representatives, or federal marshals. They claim you owe back taxes or face imminent arrest, or that your Social Security number has been compromised and your benefits are at risk. They demand immediate payment by gift card, wire transfer, cryptocurrency, or cash courier. These calls often appear to come from legitimate government phone numbers, a technology called spoofing that makes the caller ID display exactly what the scammer wants it to show. Category 2. The grandparent scam with AI voice cloning. A call from someone that sounds exactly like your grandchild, saying they are in trouble, an accident, an arrest, a medical emergency. They are terrified and emotional and need money immediately. In 2026, this voice may not be your grandchild at all. It may be an AI system that has cloned your grandchild's voice from a 30-second Instagram video and is running multiple fake emergency calls simultaneously to different grandparents across the country. Category 3. Romance scams. An attentive, warm, interested person appears on a dating app or social media. They build an emotional connection over weeks or months. They are thoughtful, they listen, they feel real, but can never meet in person. Then a sudden crisis hits, a medical emergency, a business problem, a stranded situation overseas, and they need money immediately. Seniors lost $584 million to this category alone in 2025. And AI chatbots now allow organized criminal groups to run dozens of fake relationships simultaneously. Category 4. Medicare and healthcare scams. Scammers call or email claiming that Medicare is issuing new chip-enabled cards for 2026 and that you need to provide your Medicare number to activate them. They exploit real Part D benefit changes that came into effect this year, including the new $2,100 out-of-pocket cap on prescription costs to make their pitch feel legitimate and urgent. Once they have your Medicare number and Social Security number, identity theft and fraudulent billing can follow. Category 5. Investment and cryptocurrency scams. Promises of guaranteed returns. Tips on opportunities that sound too good to miss. Pressure to act immediately before the window closes. These scams are now increasingly delivered through Facebook, WhatsApp, and random text messages, often impersonating people who appear to be legitimate financial advisors. Investment scams now account for some of the largest single financial losses suffered by older Americans. Here is the part of this video that I believe matters most. Because the cultural narrative around seniors and scams is almost entirely wrong, and it is causing enormous harm. The narrative says older people fall for scams because they are naive, because they grew up in a more trusting era, because they are not familiar enough with technology, because they are lonely. The science says something completely different. Research published in peer-reviewed journals has confirmed that cognitive changes associated with aging, changes that are happening in virtually every brain after 60, directly impair the specific mental abilities that scam resistance depends on. The ability to evaluate information critically, detect inconsistencies, and resist impulsive decisions is called the executive function and is processed in the prefrontal cortex. This is one of the brain regions that begins to show subtle changes earliest in the aging process. As executive function declines, The ability to detect deception, evaluate suspicious offers, and say no under pressure declines with it. Research from Johns Hopkins Medicine confirms that individuals with mild cognitive impairment have difficulty managing their money and making financial decisions, and critically, that they are typically not aware of their deteriorating financial skills. This is why scam shame is so dangerous and so medically wrong. When a person over 60 falls for a scam, it is not evidence of a personal failure. It may be evidence of a brain change that deserves medical attention, compassion, and family support, rather than judgment. Increasing scam susceptibility, even when no memory problems are yet obvious, may be one of the very earliest detectable signs of the Alzheimer's disease process beginning in the brain, which means that a pattern of new or increasing vulnerability to manipulation and deception in someone over 60 is something that needs a conversation with a doctor, not a lecture about being more careful. Here are the 5 most evidence-based, practically proven scam protection rules available, especially for seniors over 60 and beyond. Rule 1. Create a personal verification code with your family. For the grandparent scam specifically, agree on a code word that only your children and grandchildren know. If anyone calls claiming to be a family member in an emergency, ask for the code word before doing anything else. If they cannot give it, hang up immediately and call the real family member. This single habit defeats AI voice cloning completely. Rule 2. Never act immediately on any financial request. Legitimate organizations, banks, government agencies, Medicare, the IRS, Social Security, do not demand immediate payment under threat of arrest or benefit suspension. Scammers use urgency to bypass the prefrontal cortex's critical evaluation function, to trigger an emotional fear response before your reasoning brain can engage. If anyone demands immediate financial action, hang up right away and call the organization directly using a number from their official website and never the number the caller gave you. Rule 3. Treat all unsolicited contact as suspicious. An unsolicited call, email, text, or social media message that involves your finances, your identity documents, your Medicare number, or your Social Security number is suspicious regardless of how official it looks or sounds. The rule is never provide personal or financial information to anyone who contacted you first. If you need to verify, you initiate the call to the official organization. Rule 4. Designate a trusted person for major financial decisions. Research confirms that people with mild cognitive impairment are often not aware their financial judgment is declining. The most effective protection is to designate a trusted family member, friend, or attorney who is informed before any major financial transaction over a specific threshold. This is not giving up your independence. It is exactly what the research recommends as the most effective single protection for financial well-being after 60. Rule 5. If you have noticed yourself or a loved one becoming more susceptible to suspicious offers or high-pressure situations, mention it to your doctor. The Rush University research is now clear that increasing scam susceptibility may be an early detectable sign of the brain changes associated with Alzheimer's disease. Early detection is critical, and your doctor needs to know. To summarize, you are over 60 and need to protect yourself and your hard-earned money from scammers. And today, scammers targeting older Americans are better resourced, better equipped, and more sophisticated than at any previous point in history. But here is what the brain science adds to this story that no financial advice channel will ever tell you. Increasing vulnerability to scams after 60 is not a character weakness. It is a documented neurological consequence of the brain changes associated with aging, and in some cases, an early warning sign of Alzheimer's disease that deserves medical attention rather than shame. Protect your money with the 5 rules. Protect your brain with everything we have covered on this channel. And share this video with everyone you love over 60, because the combination of financial protection and brain health protection may be the most important conversation in senior wellness today.